sometimes a very difficult job, and depending on where the components or the people are in their own development, my relationship with Barbara was excellent, and we have a wonderful memory and a star that will always be there in terms of our meeting and our work together, and a life that will always go on.
One of the funniest memories of that relationship had to be when the relationship was over, or about to be. I read that you took Barbara to the Oscars and that you signaled to a friend of yours. You weren't going to have a good time, so you worked up a little signal.
Oh, my friend Joey, yeah. That's the guy who did California Split. Joey Walsh. He's a wonderful writer and was a great actor when he was younger.
When you saw the camera about to hit you at the Oscars?
I said that I would, that I would sort of go to my ear, but even then I always was so self-conscious as a younger person that even if I would always be looking at myself from someplace, and you know what it is to be self-conscious. So, but I remember that I told Barbara later on, because we are very good friends, that one of my errors was to allow her to wear the dress that she wore that night that Arnold Scassi designed for her.
It was revealing, wasn't it?
Oh, it was repulsive. It was.
Now it can be told.
Well, yeah.
Why'd you let her then? Why didn't you say,
well,
come on, honey, don't wear that?
Well, I thought that she knew what she was doing, and at that point, I'm in relation to faith, I sort of would proceed that I guess you know what you're doing, never thinking that when you win and you have a transparent garment on and you're stepping onto the stage, you're going to be showing your whole back part to our audience, and that's not exactly the kind of demure concept that we have in mind especially for a woman.
As movie scripts started coming to you, and one comes up very erratic, very strange, about doctors in Korea, very...
Oh, MASH.
MASH. Did you have any idea what was starting?
Well, I came back out to California and met Robert Altman, who asked me if I would consider playing the role of Duke in MASH, which was subsequently played by Tom Skerritt. And I read the script, and I wasn't terribly impressed by the script. I was impressed by the idea that I could have a job, which I always want a job. Each and every one of us should always want a job.
So that Mr. Altman said,
so Bob,
well, let's consider Trapper John as your role.
He gave it to me. I mean, he really just, not only did he give me the role of Trapper John, but he gave me the room to really be myself and to enact feelings and thoughts and to be wilder than I had ever really seen myself be before.
Mm-hmm. As the original Trapper John, in MASH, you almost had a vested interest in the series emotionally. Did you follow it or watch it, and were you pleased with what you saw in...
Well, I didn't have to watch any segments to follow it and watch it in relation to the audience and its success, and our having planted the flag here. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm very proud of its success, and feel that we complement one another very well.
Describe for me what the week in your life is like when your face is on the cover of Time magazine.
Well, that week I left the country. I went to Sweden to work with Ingmar Bergman, so I wasn't here. I was very excited to go to this reunion for all of the covers in the industry, and there was Frank Capra, sort of standing there, and nobody was paying any attention to him. That's Frank Capra. He made It's a Wonderful Life. He made Meet John Doe. That guy has had more influence on us than we even know that he has had. So I'm really happy to be a part of everything that I'm a part of. Earlier you asked...
You once had a reputation as the American Jean-Paul Belmondo. You were turning out films, right? 6 films in 15 months, I think was the real fast record. And then all of a sudden, when I do the research, suddenly Elliott Gould also has a reputation for trouble. How'd that start?
I could not allow myself to be made bigger than life with my limited education and my lack of perspective. I could not allow myself to be made bigger than life without a relationship in life and with life. And therefore I revolted when I was asked to compromise things that did not make sense for me to compromise, since I hadn't ever talked before.
15 years ago, when real movie stars like Tony Curtis, Glenn Ford, and Shirley MacLaine were going to television, you told an interviewer, quote, "They're desperately cashing in on their old reputations because they can't get films."
Mm-hmm.
Now, surely even you came to television and came to a series.
I think that I had basically exhausted the pictures that were intended to be given to me, and that there was no more understanding and no more room for growth, and I could not afford to go out and try to produce or hustle. I had to continue to make a living as what I am known to do best.
Yep.
And so, whereas I had not really been terribly enthusiastic about any of the material I had seen before, when the Norman Lear material came my way, the ER, and it having been developed by the Organic Theater in Chicago, I thought it was, the timing was right, and that I better take a chance and try to do it.
Did you like the series grind? A typical question, I know.
Oh, the guy, I can like to stay up and play poker for 48 or consecutive hours, especially if John Huston is with us.
What's the longest you've ever stayed awake to play cards?
I had been up all night on Thursday, the 4th of July, playing poker, and it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had a Friday night show to do, so I had no place to go. I went to see Me and the Colonel, and then I went to do the Friday show, and I went to the Friday poker game. And I played poker Friday night, too, so now it was Thursday night and Friday night, a matinee on Saturday, and I can't sleep. I had to play cards in between matinee and evening, and so in the third act of Say Darling, I fell asleep on stage. Luckily I was able to stand between the rest of my chorus and the wall. So it's just the wall, me, and everybody else. So as I sort of went, the wall kept me standing there.
With baseball season starting, Shelley Duvall's Tall Tales, Mighty Casey is heading for the bat, starring Mr. Gould.
Well, I said yes immediately.
Did you? No.
Yeah. I said yes immediately, and then when I heard that my old friend David Steinberg was directing, I knew that I would be understood and I'd have a very good time, and that the script would have to be funny, and that there'd be a story. I never knew a story other than the poem of Casey at the Bat.
Did you ever think you'd be in a project with Howard Cosell appearing with you?
Well, Howard, who's a very good friend, and Bob Uecker play the announcers in the present, and also when we're back in time, where I existed as Casey.
Case, what does it feel like to hit a baseball?
That's something Joe never experienced in his life. Tell him.
Well, I'll tell you. You feel it from the bottom of your toes to the tip of your fingers. When that bat hits the ball, it's like nothing else.
At the same time, you've got to understand that in sport, whether it's croquet, whether it's tetherball, whatever, badminton, fame is fleeting.
Will people who aren't sports addicts still enjoy the story?
Oh, sure. It's about America. It's about...
It is, isn't it? It really is.
It's about fidelity. It's about integrity. It's about America, and it's about innocence. And I especially appreciate Shelley's production values, and in relation to the integrity of all of the artists and that she gets together, that there is something very special. That this is my second show for her. I was the Giant in Jack and the Beanstalk, which made me countless 3.5-year-old friends.
Did it? Do they speak up to you when they see Elliott Gould?
Bring me my bag of gold. I don't know how that is with the sound department, but my 3-year-old friends know it's me, so they know that I'm not going to hurt them, you know. So it's great to face whatever it is that you think you're afraid of, and to know that it's just like you.
Bring me my bag of gold.
Oh, no, dear, not tonight.
Bring me my bag of gold. I lost a button.
There you go. That's all right. Leave it out. I'll fix it tomorrow. Ooh, I think I'll wash my hair while you're doing that.
1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
But even giants can have a bad day, as Elliott learned in his new assignment when he went to bat as Casey.
Do I understand that you had a little trouble getting the old hard ball, or how'd you hit when you were on the...
No.
Oh, you did. Is it true? How many? They fanned you any number of times, Elliott.
Well, did you see that playoff game with the Giants and the Bears when the Giant punter went to kick the ball and he missed it?
Yes.
In the championship game? I said, that's me. You know, anything that can go wrong, I'm capable of doing anything that can go wrong. I've got the entire crew, the entire cast, the entire universe is now watching the character at this point of history hit the ball out so he can become a part of our team. I can't even make contact, but I will not leave character. Eventually I hit something, but that was really embarrassing.
With Real Sports, from Bob Uecker to Howard Cosell as special guests, don't miss Casey at the Bat. Elliott Gould stars next month for Shelley Duvall's Tall